I'm Bailey from Glowforge.
I'm Nick from Glowforge.
Thanks for joining us for a live stream today. We do these about once a week, so wherever you're tuning in from, awesome. Glad to have you here. I'd love to know if you're watching us live in the chat where you're tuning in from, and if you already have a Glowforge, or if you're thinking about getting a Glowforge, what you have, what you make, what you want to make.
Yeah, what are you printing right now?
What do you have for breakfast?
Yeah, that would be good too. Favorite movie, color,
just anything.
Shirt size, I mean, overshare, it's a safe space.
But today we're going to specifically be talking about the top 10 things you need to know about making money with Glowforge, because I know a lot of people, they see Glowforge and they're like, wow, that could make my creative dreams come true.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's expensive.
Sure,
so
it's an investment, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so, but wait a minute, there is a way.
Yeah, so, don't fret.
We wanted to talk to you about kind of those top 10 ways that you can well, not top 10 ways to make money, but top 10 things to know about making money. Just kind of all the things that we've learned as we've talked to the hundreds of people who have done it. I mean, probably thousands at this point.
It probably is at this point, yeah.
I haven't talked to thousands of individuals, but there are thousands of them out there, Glowforge-powered businesses.
I mean, if we think about it, you've been here for 6 years. Me too, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like between us, we've probably interacted with 1,000 people out there.
There's a couple thousand of you watching right now, right?
Yeah, easily. Tens of thousands, in fact, I'm sure.
I'm going to look in chat real quick and see. We've got Robert from Nebraska and Charlene from New Jersey. I printed some Mickey ears on birchwood for my Disney trip soon. Okay,
Nice.
That's a cool idea. I don't know if y'all are Disney people, but if you look on Etsy at Disney ears, the custom Disney stuff that people come up with is amazing.
And it sells.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you know, because you're not really supposed to dress up like a character to go to Disneyland, so they have these things called...
I didn't know that.
It's called Disney bounding that you do if you're an adult. So it's like a character-inspired outfit. And I feel like Glowforge can really... Oh, yeah. I have a friend who's so into this.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, because they don't want you taking photos with children when you're not...
Yeah, okay. All right.
Wait a minute. That's not an official Peter Pan. That's just some guy. That's just Nick in his Peter Pan outfit.
Which I do wear, very regularly. It's true. But I mean, that's a great idea. And those ears, if you buy them at the park, I mean, they're $35,
exactly.
Right, too. So, make them for the whole family on this.
And everyone will be asking where
100%, definitely.
Actually, I remember last time I was at Disneyland, I saw someone with custom, like homemade pins that, the pins that they trade, but she made her own, and she actually had a Glowforge, and she gave me her card, and it was like one of those Glowforge in the wild moments, which happen more and more because there's so many of you out there. But we'll get started with those top 10 money-making things to know. So the first one is the question we get asked the most. So number 10, it's how long though will it really take me to pay off my Glowforge if I take the plunge and invest and get one of these and I say, but I'm going to use it to make money. Well, our customers that do just that tell us it takes an average of 3 to 6 months to pay off. And I know that's a big range and it's kind of vague, but of course it's going to depend on the particulars of your business. Like, if your business already exists and you're just going to use Glowforge to make it go faster or make more or scale, what have you.
Absolutely.
Or if you're starting from scratch, it could take a little bit longer. Also depends if you're selling, $5 Christmas ornaments or a teaser for a little future, a little bit in the future, or if you're making, something really premium like this custom haunted house here in the corner. Wait, that took it out of frame. Wrong way.
Let me get a close-up over there so you can...
There we go. We're going to be printing this in just a little bit, so I wanted to show you as a teaser. Because I think sometimes when folks think about making money with Glowforge, they might think of like small, simple, easy things, earrings, coasters, and like, of course, I mean,
that stuff sells really well.
Yes,
it does.
But you could also go like for the super premium, super custom things that each take a lot of time to make, but you could sell them at a, really premium price.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, so number 9.
Number 9, yeah, absolutely. This is... I realize I've said absolutely many times. I need to choose a different word to lean into today. I apologize. Number 9, with Glowforge, you can offer customized products in addition to blanks for a markup. And what that means is, well, multiple things. Because of the power that you have in here and the way that you can add embellishments to existing objects or things that you're making, you can pre-print a whole bunch of stuff in advance that is essentially a blank, a partially finished idea.
Yeah.
And then at the last moment, as your orders come in, you can add just that personalized touch to them. To give you an example, something like this. This is a personalized cutting board, as you can see, or a serving platter. And when we created this, we actually created this design around the outside with the mountains. And then this piece here was actually some handwriting. It's very good handwriting, I know. Whoever Erica and Esme were, they had impeccable handwriting.
It's gorgeous.
But we used the trace feature to add this to this board. So if we're thinking about this as a product to sell, and thinking about this from a business perspective, and thinking about this in terms of small batch production as opposed to having to make a bunch of stuff in advance and hope it sells, pre-print some of these as blanks, wait for those orders to come in, add that personalization, ship it out. This stuff takes just a few minutes to print, really. So, I mean, you could receive an order and ship it out the same day, which, as we're coming up to the holiday season, people love premium shipping like that.
Yes, how far into December are you taking orders, you know?
Yeah, right. And how much of a markup can you add when you're talking about December 20th?
Another thing about pre-printing your blanks, if you will, is you could make them personal to an event. Like say something I'm looking forward to going to is the a Swedish Christmas fest over here in the Pacific Northwest. So imagine that I was a vendor at that, and I made ornaments that had the Lucia bride on it. It said the Swedish Christmas Fest 2021, and then those were all customized for the event. But then I had my Glowforge with me there on site, so then I could put the family's name, and they could walk away from the event. So I mean. The on-the-site customization also, I mean, the Glowforge will be the party trick of the event.
Oh,
Forget about the Christmas festival,
That's
right?
it, the Polaroid cameras or whatever else people leave on the table these days.
Yeah,
this is going to be it. And I think we'll get into that a little bit more later, but in addition to the air filter with the Glowforge, it's a very compact and mobile system. You can take it anywhere and print from anywhere as long as you have access to some Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and you can even tether it to your phone. I've run my Glowforge off my phone a lot of times, kind of being in, sometimes even for events, when you pay for Wi-Fi, it's very crowded and noisy and stuff, and so your phone can be a really great solution.
Absolutely. And here's another couple of examples. This, I honestly do not remember why we created this, but this is a little stand maybe for a wedding.
Maybe like a photo booth to hold it and say,
absolutely. But again, something you could easily pre-print, and then this text in the middle you could customize or create on the fly. And then things like this is a piece of natural slate. This design has a little frame. A little frame design around the edge, and then just an initial added to the middle. And again, that could have been done on the fly, live at the event. As people sit down at the table, maybe they bring their coasters over and you press it. I mean, that would be kind of cool,
what
right?
if you had one at your wedding as an activity that you could get personalized?
Yeah, between speeches,
missed opportunity. I'm going to need to get married again.
I mean, I'll come to the party, Bailey. If you're going to have one, I'll be there.
A vow renewal, perhaps, something like that. Greetings from your biggest fan in Pace, Florida. PG Hat Co. is here in chat on we're your biggest fan.
Yeah, it's true.
This is, if you have any questions about starting a business with Glowforge, I mean, I'm just going to offer it out there since they're showing themselves. PG Hat Co. is a Glowforge powered business in Florida. They make a number of things, but one of them is customized ball caps with like leather or cork. What would that be called? Patches on them?
I would call it a patch.
Anywho,
correct as if we're wrong, by the way.
They can tell you more in chat if you ask, but they have one of the most successful Glowforge powered businesses that we've heard of. The numbers that they tell us in our updates with them are mind blowing. I think they're on track to make about $500,000 in sales this year, which wow.
I wish that was me.
Yeah,
Gonna be honest.
I'm sure not. Yeah. All right, well, let's get on to our print, which ties in with our number eight, which is you can use every bit of material, which is important when you're running a business because you want to keep those margins, as big as you can. So use every bit of material with live preview, and we'll show you what that means.
Absolutely. This is a great feature, and I'm sure for those of you out there who've joined us in the past, you'll know I've harped on about this a lot, but I'm going to share my screen and jump right into it and show you this print. So we teased it earlier. We're going to be printing this Halloween design here, which, as this image shows, is actually designed to go inside a pumpkin.
Or like next to it, it's in like one of those cool glass terrarium things.
Yeah, like a lantern or a bell jar or something like that. It's pretty cool. And here you can see we've lit it up with some different colored lights and candles and things. It's really rad. And this is just made from proof grade, just a few sheets. The design itself is available to purchase, or if you're a premium member, it's available for free.
It's our design of the month for October, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's right, absolutely. In celebration of that upcoming holiday.
Every month we've got a free design associated with design of the month if you are a premium member. So always check that out. This is one I definitely want to make at home, but it's like, it does seem a little, intimidating because of how many pieces there are, but speaking of making money, I would also pay quite a pretty penny for this.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. You could even sell this as a kit. I mean, just print the pieces, keep them together, present them in a bag, maybe add some glue in the instructions or something like that. Make someone else do the hard work of putting it together.
Well, and think of the different versions of this you could make, like adding, I don't know, like moss, or I mean, you could do kind of a Nightmare Before Christmas version of it, or whatever like favorite movies
you have. Take it as far as
you
wanted to.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool. All right, well, back to the print. We digress there slightly. I have the print here, and I already have it loaded up in my software right here. And for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with the Glowforge software, well, this is it. This is the Glowforge Print App. It's browser-based, which means it doesn't matter what you use it on, whether it's a Mac, PC, maybe your tablet. So long as you can access an internet browser, you can get to this software. And what that means is that you're always running the latest and greatest version of it. There's nothing to download, nothing to install, nothing to update. Every time you log in, you're getting the latest and greatest version. And what we're seeing here, when we talk about live preview, is actually a photograph of exactly what's inside our bed. And the reason I chose this specific piece of material is because we've already used some of it.
You might recognize that if you tuned into a stream recently. I think that was like
1 or 2 ago.
I'm busy in a meeting door hanger.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But because we're working live on that material, I can get all these different bits of my print. I can drag and select them just like you might expect, and then I can move them exactly where I want them to go. And so you can see how by doing this, we can be really efficient with the way that we use our material. I could take one of these and put it over there, see if it fits. It doesn't quite fit there, so let's just undo that. Let's find a new spot for that one. I could pick maybe a couple of these ones over here and drag them over here. But you know, you get the idea. You can work very, very accurately and use all these little bits of material, which again, if you're starting a business, you want to be as frugal with your material as you can. Maybe not frugal, maybe that's the wrong word. Efficient. Efficient is probably a better word, isn't it?
Another thing that we've seen folks do is say that you had a haunted house kit making company, and you always had, you know, little tiny scraps of material left over. You'd figured out your most efficient way of placing the pieces, but you always had these little pieces left over. We've seen folks actually make entirely new product lines out of the scraps. So imagine, like, out of this, maybe they would make bats or something like that, or
earrings, jewelry, that kind of
thing.
Small. Absolutely, little tokens maybe too.
Exactly.
Yeah, all sorts. And just to demonstrate here as well, let's say we didn't have enough room on this material to print everything. I could move the bits that I can't print off the side like this, and they'll basically wait there until we're ready to print, and then I can move the rest of it onto the side, move these bits back, and then print those. And that's a great way of breaking up a design across materials too. Let's say I want to do half of this with maple plywood, which we have in here, and then half with cherry. I can choose to print half of it on there and drag the rest off to the side. And it's within this software as well that we can start to manipulate these pieces. Now, this is a catalog design, so it's ready to print, but if we wanted to, we could go in here and we could start to scale these pieces if we wanted to. We can copy and paste if we wanted to create multiples of the same thing. We can rotate stuff to fit. Really, really, really easy. And we can also manipulate the way that it's created. Now, catalog prints are wonderful because we've solved all these problems and created the solutions for them within the software. In that, when you open it up, we know which bits we're going to score, which bits we're going to cut, which bits we're going to engrave, so that your print comes out exactly the same as ours. But let's say you didn't want to. You could go into here and you can change the settings. You have that granular control if that's what you're looking for. But otherwise, we're basically ready to go. So I'm going to zoom out here just for a second. And to make sure that we have enough time to show this print, I'm actually going to grab a few of these bits from the bottom here. I'm going to move them off to the side, and we'll just print this top section.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and actually one other thing that's cool about this particular design, it comes with a bunch of gravestones. And using the software, either the trace feature or some text that you import, we could actually add customization or personalization to the tombstone. So, you know, you could add someone's name if you wanted to be playful, or anything you like, pictures, that kind of stuff.
Your job if you're feeling funny.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that we could all put on the gravestone this year. We've been through so much together. But anyway,
what a time to be alive. No pun intended, right?
Not at all. Just very glad that you're here with us. But anyway, we are good to go. And at that point, all we have to do is hit print.
So that'd be perfect for selling that too. It'd say, you know, you'd say order your custom grave or haunted house kit and tell me what you want on the tombstones. And you can have some ideas if people didn't like these ones. Say, you know, generic rest in peace. Here lies I don't know, Jack Attack, just a name that someone came up with. Your text here. Oh man, that's a sad gravestone.
Yeah. That's what needs to be updated. throw your best gravestone puns in the chat, maybe. Let's see what everybody can come up with.
Yeah, what would y'all put on here? I love that.
But at this point, and as we were talking, we probably missed it, what Glowforge actually did was send the laser head, the bit where the laser comes out, across to the material to take a height reading of everything that's in there. And it basically does a bunch of calibration using cameras and other lasers that are inside the machine to set the print up perfectly for you so you don't have to. And if we think about lasers that used to exist in the past, there was a lot of manual stuff that you had to finagle. We took care of that with robots and software. So you can focus on your idea and then the output. And the actual machine itself, as you can see, pretty simple. We just got one button on there, and I think Bailey's going to do the honors.
There it is.
Everything's sent across. The button starts to flash. We can press print, and we'll kick the print off. And here we go. So this print itself is about 10 minutes or so. So we'll show you it up close. We'll leave it running, tackle a few more points on our agenda, and then we'll come back to the pieces once it's finished.
The printer head is sort of blocking what's going on, but as it moves around, I'm always certain I can get it from the back. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, it looks like it's printing some letters. Is that labeling to help you put it together?
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah. This particular design, all the parts are labeled, kind of like an
Airfix
kit. Absolutely. It makes assembly so much easier. And if you think about creating your own designs, if there's instructions you want to include in the print, Glowforge can add them directly to the pieces, which is super cool.
Oh, yeah. The catalog designs come with instructions, which are how we photographed each step and how to put things together, which is really lovely.
Yeah, it's really, really helpful. But anyway, I think that's a nice segue into step number 7.
Yes, number 7 is you can stop outsourcing. So sometimes when you get a Glowforge, it means that you can now make something that you used to buy. So that could be like literally that you were paying for engraved time on someone else's industrial strength laser, or like by the hour at a makerspace or something like that. Lots of folks do that. Or, oh, I love this example. I went a few years ago now to a weaving class with my sister-in-law, and it was one of her friends, and she was teaching weaving, and it was so cool. And she had these little tiny looms that were just made of plywood, and we did our projects on them, and they were engraved in the corner with her business name. And she told me, I was like, well, I could tell they were laser cut, and I asked her, where'd she get this? And she was ordering them from someone around here who had a laser. And now she's got her own, so she makes those, and she's cut off that cost, which I know has made she's expanded into all sorts of different art classes now. It's super cool.
That's really awesome.
So that's a small business that, like, even though she's not selling like a physical item, it's still helping her run her small business. Same would go for like events businesses or wedding planning, things like that.
Yeah, and at that point you can, like Bailey mentioned, wow, tripping over my words. Start again. And to that point, as Bailey mentioned, you could add something special and specific to that event, so whoever was participating had a memento to take away with them.
Yes.
You could create different sizes too. Let's say you want to do a beginner's class, which has got less strings. There's probably a word for the vertical and horizontal things that you have to weave through. I forget. You did the class, Bailey. I was really hoping you...
And yet I'm not a professional weaver. Like, it's not her fault. It was a great class.
No, yeah, absolutely. But so much potential there, assuming that you have this available to you. All right, on to number 6.
Yes.
Designing. Now, we do get asked a lot, well, if I have an idea, how do I actually get it to Glowforge, and what do I need to do there? And in short, you need to design something. You need to draw something that Glowforge can understand.
There's a file that you have to upload to Glowforge. That's how you do it.
That's it. But don't worry, it's not a complicated process. You can use whatever software you know how to use already. And that can include things like Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides, anything like that. If it can save a PDF, you can send instructions to the Glowforge to create something. Let's say you've got a vinyl cutter, and maybe you're using the Silhouette software or the Cricut software.
We hear this all the
they
time.
Can output SVGs. SVGs can be sent to Glowforge, and you can print those right away as well. And even better than that, or in addition to all of that too, if you want to add something super personal, we do have the lid camera here, which can take a photo of anything you put in the bed. So handwriting is a great example of this, and turn that into something that we can print. And if we're thinking about stuff to gift, thinking about things to sell, thinking about ways to add customization and personalization that really elevates what you can charge for the things that you're making and selling. Trace is a really big one.
So just to get your imagination working, maybe you're selling, something even really simple like Christmas ornaments or cutting boards or something. You could have your clients buy from you online and send you either physical or digital files of like their children's handwriting, and then you could engrave that into the project and incorporate that in. could be so cool. Here's some.
Absolutely.
Here, let's show these up close.
This is another cutting board. This one here was actually a handwritten recipe from somebody's grandma. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this before, but again, just a really nice memento, memory of this. Yeah, it's really good. And this is permanent too, so you can use this as a serving board. You can still wash it. It's nice and clean. It's great. And then on the other end of the spectrum, if we want to go really extreme, we've got this. Now, this example is actually pretty special. This was something that was made by one of our colleagues. This, as you can see, is kind of a guitar body. And if I hold this up next to it, I'm just watching our screen, see if you can see. You can see that we took that, put it inside the Glowforge, captured it as a design, and then was able to print it on this guitar body. Now, totally get that this is a stretch project for many people, including myself, but it shows what is possible. It's really, really incredible.
But really, the hard part of it, I think, was, I mean, besides the beautiful drawing, you need some talent to do this. I couldn't just whip this out. But the hard part of it was like assembling the guitar.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, the Glowforge does all the hard work of putting the design on it. So yeah, we were able to just, it came in a kit. We were able to just put the guitar body in the Glowforge, engrave that. And you'll notice that the drawing, or maybe you noticed, I was holding them kind of far away, but the drawing is a little bit smaller than the guitar, and that's because we were able to take basically a photo of it with the lid camera and then make it big enough to fit exactly how we wanted it. You could also make an identical tiny ukulele or something like that.
So funnily enough, we did exactly that.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that guitar is still at her house, but we got the same guitar, but a miniature one for his son. And we scaled this down and made a mini version of it.
Really cool.
I wish I had a photo of that. I totally forgot we did that.
Adorable.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking we need to do that more, like create different scale versions of stuff with Glowforge, because I was thinking, like, how big could I make this haunted house?
Oh, wow. Can you imagine that as a playhouse for your kids?
Right?
If you can make that 6 feet tall, that sounds like a stretch
goal. That would be really cool.
Okay.
So that's what we're talking about, is using the pass-through feature on the Glowforge Pro. So if you are interested in making really giant things like art installations or furniture, or making something that was meant to be small really, really huge, the Glowforge Pro has a pass-through slot in the front and the back. So you get this much in width, which is about 20 inches, and then unlimited length. So you could make something giant, like a sign. So you can see this whole thing would have fit through.
Absolutely. We just slide that from the back to the front like this. And Glowforge cut out the outline of this decorative arrow shape, and then all of these letters and the feather design too were made out of bits of black acrylic and plywood. We actually scored, using the Glowforge, the outline of all of these letters
onto this too. Such a good tip, because mine would be like, wah, 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 wah.
You know,
they would never line up.
Yeah, it looks great when you're close, and then you step away and think, oh, who did that? But it makes assembly really, really easy.
And I don't know if you meant to bring this up right then, but our number 5 tip is about branding, packaging, signage, and display. So that was a great example of a sign for your business. So when you get a Glowforge, not only can you make things to sell, perhaps your business has nothing to do with things that you can sell or gifts that you can give or something, but you use the Glowforge to create your branding and signage, or takeaways. Here's some great examples.
That sign that we just showed you was part of a fictional business that we created, but here is some packaging that we made to go along with that shoot. And these are just bits of cardstock that were printed on just on an inkjet printer, and then we used the Glowforge to cut the details out of there. And you can see how we've got some cool sort of negative space pass-through elements. I'm sure there's a technical term for that.
That looks so custom. You know, you obviously didn't buy that from Oriental Trade Company or whatever. Like a little card box. Like, this was made for your brand, and you can really tell.
100%. And I mean, let's say these earrings were long and skinny rather than sort of round like this. We could take this whole design and make it longer. We could make it fit the product that we're trying to sell, so
and
it feels so premium.
Right here, right?
Yeah, this one's a great one. So this here was just an off-the-shelf blank stamp handle, along with some stamp rubber that you can buy in sheets. Very inexpensive. You can find it on your favorite online retailers. Just search for laser stamp rubber. And I think we have a few tutorials on making stamps actually on our YouTube channel.
We should do another live stream, but yes, we have.
That was popular.
Yeah, it's a really fun one. This laser safe rubber has really become very easy to find the last couple of years. I got mine on Amazon, and I think that's actually
and if anybody out there has ever tried to have a custom stamp made, like, it's not cheap and it's not quick, typically, at least anyway. And you can knock these things out in 10 to 15 minutes.
You could also take stamping another direction and do them out of acrylic to stamp things like clay, or to deboss things like leather. That's true. You've got that wallet. Oh my goodness, the chat is going.
Is it popping?
is popping.
Excellent.
Where are the videos that show how you actually use the pass-through feature? I haven't seen any yet, Jay says. Jay, we actually did a live stream of pass-through 2 weeks ago. And we'll do one again in another couple weeks. We're going to do them every few weeks from now on because it's so popular. But yes, if you go on our YouTube channel and look for pass-through, you should be able to find it there. There's also tons of customer videos. But you're right, we've only just started doing it live a few weeks ago. And it's great. It's been really fun.
Yeah. To give you a very brief overview, you basically take your design, draw it full size in whatever software you like to use. And I'll just mention this too, because we didn't talk about it earlier. If you are comfortable with things like Illustrator, Photoshop, professional things, CAD, you can use those to print with Glowforge too. Just output as an SVG or a PDF or a DXF as well, maybe from AutoCAD, and you can send that design to Glowforge. But for pass-through, design it full size, send it to the printer, turn on the pass-through feature. You stick your material in, Glowforge prints as much as it can fit on the material that it can see. It then takes a bunch of pictures of what it's done. You slide it through, it figures out where it left off, and it does the next bit. And you basically work in sections like that, one section after another, following the instructions in the app until the print's finished. It's crazy to see, to think that that's even possible, but watch that live stream. Check it out.
I'm just making, I know we have some experts in chat that are doing a good job of handling all the questions. I'm just making sure there's
Thank you, experts.
I know, thank you. I want to make sure we keep going with our list. Number 4. This is a tip that I got when I was talking to you know, some of our owners who really did this in real life, because it's something that's easy to forget about, that really, you know, a successful business is like a little math equation of time and price and then profit, right? So basically focus on some combination of low cost materials, quick prints, and very little finishing. And you don't need all 3 of those things. Maybe you do a really premium material and a quick print and very little finishing. Or maybe you do low cost material and it's quick, but the finishing takes you a long time, like something like this.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So and that's how, though, you make a profit.
Yeah, and actually earrings are a great example. And these feathers and flint earrings that we were showing you earlier on are made from proof grade materials. We haven't talked about those very much right now, but for a business owner, this could be something worth looking into. This is something that we've made for Glowforge. It is designed and optimized to work with the printer. You're not forced to use it at all. You can absolutely go to your local hardware store and find some plywood. But these materials we've tested, we've approved, we've generated the settings that you need to cut and engrave them perfectly. But when we think about this particular tip, they're also pre-finished. So if I peel this protective coating off like this, and if we get up there with that handheld again, these materials have been sanded and then finished with a furniture grade finish on there. So they look professional right out of the laser. And those earrings you saw, just glued together. There was no sanding, no staining, no varnishing or anything like that. They were just ready to go as soon as they were printed. And
maybe you wouldn't consider proof grade the cheapest material, because it may not be. You may be able to find, you know, a plywood that's cheaper, but it's not going to be pre-finished. It's not going to have the coat. It's not going to have the masking. And you'll just, you know, weigh those things in how long the whole thing takes you. Perhaps that saves you money when you finish it yourself, you know? So it's just an interesting little exercise as you're planning what you might sell, to experiment with different materials. And I mean, gosh, and you can offer different versions of what you make too for different premium pricing. You could offer a blank version and a customized version, a version that's all wood and one that has acrylic inlays.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Absolutely. So many possibilities.
Absolutely. So number 3. Oh, we kind of already gave this one away earlier. Whoops, sorry.
Got too carried away.
Who wrote this list? Number 3 is a brick and mortar tip for those of you who do take your creations to holiday fairs. I think those are back this year for the most part.
Yeah, I think so.
Just wear your masks, right?
Maybe you're even lucky enough to have a retail store. I mean, some of you out there I know do.
Sometimes I've seen like craft pop-ups in malls, which is really cool. I love I mean, people are trying to shop small, aren't they? So, but that tip is to customize items in your shop, or bring your Glowforge to the fair. So having a Glowforge on hand, like we mentioned before, where maybe you're selling. So imagine that you run a retail shop unrelated to selling things with the Glowforge, and you sold you know, blank items that you could customize here on the spot, like these that Nick's bringing up. So this is like an aluminum flask. This is a glass I don't know what this bottle is really supposed to be for. It's super cool. It'd be like, you know,
it's
maple syrup, hot potions. Like, I'm not really sure what it's.
I mean, it could be olive oil too. People do those oil blends with garlic and things like that in them as well, right?
Or like preserved flowers or whatever. I mean, definitely very giftable though. It feels 100%. Really fancy. And then 100%. This is like a little a tin that you did kind of a Halloween engraved one, which is fun.
Very topical.
So if you sold blank things in your shop, and you could picture this at a craft store or something like that, especially, then folks could come in and customize them on the spot with a Glowforge. So just like a fun retail tip there.
And of course, as we mentioned before as well, all your signage too. Your packaging, your signage for the actual store, for your shop front, even those little things that say you can pay with Visa and American Express, you could make that with your Glowforge.
And think about when you order something online and from Etsy especially, and the package comes and maybe the box is custom, or when you open it, there's like a note from the owner, or there's like a sticker with the brand. All those little things make you feel like, wow, this item was worth what I paid for it, and like I made the right choice, and like, wow, this brand, and
it's all part of that experience.
It really is. It'll make you go back next time, recommend it, all that kind of stuff. So a brand is big. Don't forget it. Number 2 tip is that most business go through slot on the Pro, and the Pro is the only Glowforge that has that. The Pro also is the fastest. It's kind of intended for like all day use. It's the workhorse of the line, although they all are. But the Pro has, this advanced cooling where it can keep running even in hotter temperatures. Like if you're, somewhere that's warm, I guess. The Basic and Plus run optimally at like, 76 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. And a little hotter than that, they may need to cool periodically. So that's the Glowforge Pro. And did I say that it's 3 times fastest at the top?
I don't think you mentioned it yet, but that is true. Yep.
3 times fastest. And then the Plus and the Basic, they don't have the pass-through slot, and then they are slower as the Plus, or the Basic is the slowest, then the Plus, then the Pro.
That's right.
So that is the 3 options, but they're all the same size. They look just like this, same footprint. The bed size is the same, meaning like the piece of proof grade material or what have you that you put on in is going to be the same in those ones. So, and really most things that you see, you can accomplish on a Glowforge Basic. Even big things if you get real creative with hinges.
It's true. Absolutely.
And joinery.
But if I think about money, time is money. This is faster, quicker.
Exactly.
This is why it starts to pay for itself so quickly.
Exactly. Speaking of which, I probably should have mentioned this before, a half an hour in, but we do have a discount associated with this live stream. So if you're going to get a live stream, if you're going to get a Glowforge this fall, maybe you're going to make your Christmas presents. Have you noticed how bare the shelves are already?
It's incredible. I wasn't expecting it at all.
My mother-in-law texted me some Christmas decor saying they have this at big box retailer, and they're not getting any more.
Right.
And it's October 15th or something,
I've even been receiving emails from people saying, really sorry in advance, it's not our fault, but if you want to shop, try shopping early this year.
Yeah, basically the supply chain issues of the last couple years are hitting now. So perhaps this is the year to make all your holiday gifts. You know how we say we're going to do that every year?
Yeah. This is the year.
We're going to have to, I think. So I better get moving on that. So no, if you're going to get a Glowforge this holiday season, use the URL glowforge.com/haunted house. That's good through the end of the month. And Glowforges are shipping, I think, in 7 or 14 days, depending on which unit you choose. Right now, we do have free shipping on Plus and Pro right now, too, which is a great deal because these things are, a little hefty. It's not a small package to arrive.
It's true. It's a very exciting package to arrive, I'll say.
So free shipping, though, is a great deal. Make sure you take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think you save about $300 with that, don't you?
Right, yeah.
We should also mention as well that these all come with $150 of proof grade materials.
Oh, do we have that pack anywhere?
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier on. So just so you can hit the ground running when the Glowforge arrives, you get this big hefty pack of material that comes with it. So within about 30 minutes when you have this online, actually, did we mention that setup only takes about 30 minutes? Maybe we said it enough that you all know it anyway, but average time to set the machine up and be holding your first print is about 30 minutes.
And so this has some leather, some acrylic, just basically a plethora of the things that we make. So you can just try them out. And again, you don't need to use proof grade with your Glowforge. You can choose to source your own materials from the hardware store or what have you. But these are nice because Glowforge reads them, recognizes them, and does the settings for you automatically. So there's less of that guesswork with the final result. This is finished. We should probably show this off. So if you weren't here when we started, this this print right here, which finished a few minutes ago, is a bunch of like little gravestones and little bits and bobs that go to this. So this is our design of the month for October. It's this beautiful haunted house. It was actually meant to, you know, it's kind of a display. You know how folks have little holiday displays or whatnot around their homes. So you could just put it on a coffee table with some of that spider webbing all around it and some orange lights and stuff. Or it was actually meant to be put inside a pumpkin. So imagine you, you know, hollow out a pumpkin and it sits right inside. So it's kind of like a little panorama thing. So here are some of these that we personalized. Well, we personalized your text here. Not the best example. Here's one, rest in peace. But here's some of these that are fresh out of the printer.
Yeah, and I just half peeled this one actually to emphasize another benefit of proofgrade. All those materials have a masking on them, and you can see how when you print on a Glowforge, you get this sort of schmutzy edge from where the smoke comes up from the material. Laser schmutz.
Sorry, that's a scientific term, but I would try not to use.
Yeah, we're not supposed to throw those around.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. But that masking, it just peels off, and what you have underneath is a completely pristine surface.
Yep.
So no cleanup after that, which is great.
I just love this. I got to get moving on printing that since we're halfway through the month.
It's really fun. Yeah, I'm really hoping somebody out there, maybe hint, one of you, wants to take that and make it giant too.
Oh,
you know?
yes.
If you, we'll probably buy it from you if you want to do it as well. Yeah.
Well, we're down to our last thing you need to know about making money with Glowforge, which is, I mean, maybe an obvious one, but very, very, very important. It's funny when I tell people that I work at a company that makes a laser, they assume that it's for businesses. And I'm like, no, actually, most people have them in their homes. These are home lasers. So the number one thing to know is that it's compact and easy to clean and maintain at home. So it's perfect for your home business. You don't need to be renting an art studio to run your Glowforge out of. In fact, most people have them in garages or spare bedrooms or family rooms, kitchens.
Yeah. All over.
Totally. Yeah. So, and cleaning and maintenance is fairly simple. It's important to keep the lenses clean, kind of like wiping down. We use these little like glasses lens wipes that we buy on Amazon. Keep the lens in the lid camera and on the laser head clean, and yeah.
That's it, pretty much.
It's fairly easy to maintain.
Yeah.
So.
No calibration necessary or anything like that. It's all done with the robots and the computers that are inside there. So,
thank goodness.
Yeah, you can focus on the idea and the outcome, and that bit in the middle will take care of for you.
So I'm going to just jump into chat real quick.
Any last questions anybody has? Stick them in there. If we can't answer them on air, one of our experts will do too.
PG Hacko is just singing the praises of their Pro, which runs 8 to 10 hours per day in Florida. Okay, wow. So the cooling is working, I guess. Yeah, folks are recommending SVGs as their favorite. Oh, it's a sauce bottle, of course. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. I think our experts have mostly covered everything, so I think we're done with our list. And I should make sure y'all get that code again. Glowforge.com/haunted house. If you go to that through the end of the month, it'll get you $500 off a Glowforge Pro, $250 off a Glowforge Plus, or $125 off of a basic. So it's a great deal. It's the best price we offer, and I can tell you this now, it's official. We're not having a Black Friday sale this year. So this is the best price you can get. And in fact, we introduced something called the worry-free price guarantee, meaning if we totally change our minds.
Unlikely, but you never know.
And we do lower the price of Glowforge before the end of the year, that you'll get a refund of that price difference. I'm quite confident we're not going to run a sale. This is the best price you can get is using a discount code like this. So glowforge.com/haunted house. Good through the end of the month, $500 off the Pro, $250 off the Plus, $125 off the Basic.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's it for us. We'll be here again next week. We hope to see you there, and thank you for tuning in.
Thanks so much, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.